G'day everyone, welcome back to another Fantasy and SuperCoach review video on the channel. We're going to be reviewing my teams from round 9, just gone. And yeah, what a week it was. I think this was a lot more of a high-scoring week in both formats. We'll kick off with Fantasy first. By the way, hopefully all you lot went well. As for myself, for round 9 in Fantasy, I got myself a 2,219. So yeah, 6,000th overall round ranking, which is pretty good, and we've pushed up in the overall rankings about I'd say around 2,000 spots or so. So yeah, we'll definitely take that, heading in the right direction. And yeah, much better week points wise. I think my team's not in a bad position. It's just that we need to start getting points on the board, and we managed to get this score with holding 𝐼𝐻𝐼𝗨, which is a player that should come back in this week. So plenty of highlights. I mean, a lot of ceiling scores this week. We captained DAICOS. We had a lot of big scores in our midfield here. It's been a while since we've seen this. Dawson, Martin, Steele. I mean, Jeremy Sharp was awesome on the wing. So yeah, you definitely do love to see it. And we're pretty fortunate here with Gallagher fielding him too, given that Lazaro was the sub. So the trades in the end were pretty frustrating because I traded out Rowan Marshall to Jordan Sweet. He goes on and gets COVID. So to avoid copying the donut, I just had to bring in English. So it's a bit of a step back, which is a bit of a pain. Is what it is. However, I just had to not cop the donut. So I did bring in English. And we also brought in Colby 𝐸𝐸𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐸 out and yeah, 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 was good for us on debut. So through the lines now, we start off with a very controversial player at the moment with Fantasy and SuperCoach, Harry Sheezel. So he's now completely moved out of the back line, and he is playing a midfield forward role. So he's getting over 50% CBAs. He's starting at half forward. He's pushing up the ground. It's just, it's a bit of an ugly one for Fantasy and SuperCoach related things. So do you trade him out? Very high price tag of 996k. I'll consider it throughout the week, but my thoughts on it is he probably still will push towards being a top 6 defender, because usually top 6 defenders are around a 95 average onwards. So it's tempting. If I were to do it, I'd probably go him across to maybe like a 𝐓𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻 𝐸𝐿𝐼𝐻 or a Dane Zorko in the forward line. But yeah, disappointing. And look, it was pretty muggy conditions up there in Darwin, so a lot of North players did struggle on the night. Sorry. Hayden Young got an 81. Started off okay, but a bit more quieter against the Swannies. But he's been very consistent the past few weeks, so lowered his colours a little bit more. Nick DAICOS was superb. I was pretty confident captaining him against West Coast. He went off, had the ball on a string, getting 1-2s. Work ethic was fantastic too. And then yeah, we traded 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸. We got him back in because he has that halfback role returned to him, and I can see him easily going probably 85 plus. And I'll definitely take an 88, given how bad North were and how exhausted they looked after half time. And it was a little bit annoying though, because Zach Fisher took a lot of his ball and a lot of his kick-ins, so he could have gotten probably a 120 if he wasn't taking up his space. But he just has a really good ability on finding the footy, and just sits out the back of packs and gets those handball receives, and yeah, has a good kick too. 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻 was fantastic. Yeah, really good kick of the football. This guy, he's kicked 2 lovely goals to get the first ton in Fantasy. Matt Roberts is easily an out this week. He's just hit the wall. He's been a very consistent player for the Swannies the past couple of weeks or so far this season, but yeah, just looked to pace off when the Swans moved the football on Friday night. So he's got to go now. Break even of 99. Yikes. And then yeah, Blake Howser 48. So the next 2 weeks with Howser, though, it's interesting. He's got West Coast and St Kilda, so he could probably churn out maybe another cheeky 10 or 20k. Midfielders, they were definitely the positive sign this week. We start off with Jordan Dawson. Brilliant game he had. Massive fourth quarter. Almost lifted his team over the line. He almost kicked the winning goal too, but narrowly missed. But yeah, he had a few drop marks. He dropped that mark in the goal square, I think in like the second term. But yeah, really good game he had. Just had a beastly fourth quarter, so we'll definitely take a 118. Nick Martin at 121, just the usual stuff with Nick Martin, racking up a lot of the football at that halfback role. He's just playing better, I think, a week in, week out now. He's getting into the right spots. He knows when to push up the ground too to make an impact inside 50. Yeah, he's a good player. and he's been a great starting selection. Jack Steele repays the faith for the holders, including myself. I know he was a highly traded out player in SuperCoach, but no knee strapping this week, so you love to see it. He looked back to, I wouldn't say his absolute best. He had like over 10 tackles at half time. He was hand passing a lot, but managed to get himself a number of marks. So, yeah, good game. He had 131. You do love to see it. 𝐓𝐿 Miller got a 108, and he could have gotten a bit more, but fair enough. Dimmer decided to rest Miller alongside Flanders in the last 15 minutes of that final quarter, given that Gold Coast have a short turnaround next week against the Cats on Thursday night. So, yeah, he could have gotten a little bit more, but was beastly. Was easily the best midfielder on the night. Riley Bonner, what a seagull this guy is. 129, how about this, eh? He got out his seagulling best and got us 129. Just, yeah, racking up the marks. And to be honest, I thought he played quite a good game. I think he's a chance to get coaches' votes. He went by foot really well. He rarely made errors. He peeled off and got those handball receives and took the game on. And yeah, he had 2 goal assists in the first quarter too. So, yeah, I thought his game was good, and he continues to be a sensational starting pick now, and he's now 761k. Jeremy Sharp as well, another rookie that I've held that has paid off. 118, he kicked 2 goals in 30 seconds. I couldn't believe it. As a Swan supporter, I was like, oh, bloody hell, they've kicked 2 in a row. But at the same time, I'm like, well, Sharp's kicked 2 goals. Let's get around him. Massive score there, so he can continue to climb. And yeah, we'll just field him for the next couple of weeks. Harley Reid, you can probably look to move on either now or as soon as possible. As I've said the past few weeks, his ceiling in fantasy looks to be around that 80 mark. He just doesn't really have the fantasy-friendly sort of game. Played a lot out of the goal square against the Pies too. Graham got dropped, which, yeah, a bit of a shame, and would had to take the Garcia loop, but let's remember we did hold Rosie. Gorn got a 109. Wasn't really considering VCing him just because of the short turnaround, and I just felt it would be a bit of a physical battle against Pitnet. And he still was good though. He kicked the goal late to salvage his score a little bit, so we'll definitely take a ton for Gorn. And had to bring in English because of the sweet carnage, unfortunately. And he got me a 109 on debut, so yeah, it's no Marshall though. He got a 160 plus. Bloody hell, what a terrible trade out from myself. And then moving into the forward line now, Flanders, I decided to VC. I thought this one could be a bit of a pot option, but didn't turn out to be. He could have gotten 120 plus, but as I said, with 𝐓𝐿, he did get rested the last 15 minutes of the game. Jack Macrae was good. He got a number of marks. He tackled well. He disposed of the football well. Yeah, I just see that with Macrae pretty much this year, probably around that 80 to 90 scorer. Should just be a borderline F6, F5 option. So, yeah, we're going for 700k too, so I think that was a good price. 𝐼𝐿𝐴 𝐞𝐬, 106, really good on Friday night. He's just sitting around this 90 to 110 sort of range at the moment. He's getting you 25 disposals a game. Didn't kick a goal this week, but he gave the Joe the Goose out the back to, I think it was Will Hayward, instead of going back himself. So he could have kicked the goal, but decided to be unselfish. We'll take that though. Another good game from 𝐻𝐸. Tom Powell got into 77, and I thought that was probably his best game in the last few weeks from what I did watch. I think he got like 24, 25 touches. He got in the end 25 touches. So, yeah, he attacked contests a lot better. He got a few more marks considered from the last few weeks. He had about 11 or 12 touches. So, hopefully he can continue the around the 25 disposal mark, and we could maybe try and hold him, but he is a bit of a concern because he is leaking money. Pretty fortunate with Harvey Gallagher, got a 67. I had to field a extra rookie because I brought in English, and Gallagher looked good, and this is exactly why I brought him in all those weeks ago, because he gets CBAs, he works well on the wing, and he just found plenty of the footy. Granted, it was against Richmond, but we'll take a 67 to gain him a bit of money, and his break-even lowers, so win-win. Darcy Wilson, very good, 87. I think he's a keeper at the moment. Just sit him at your F6 and watch him probably go up to 700k. What's his 3-round average? It is, 93. So, he's literally a keeper at the moment with how he's going. Just so good overhead and works height the ground really well and clean with it. Kyle Oman got a 52, was really getting involved in this game. What a game it was, by the way. The draw between the Crows and the Lions. He got a nasty knock on the head, and I think he had to get it bandaged or had stitches or something. Got it sewn up. He got like split his head open. But yeah, he competed well, and he's got Richmond and Hawthorn the next 2 weeks. So hey, he could fill his boots and probably push to 500k before his bye. And yeah, Cubman's a concern now. He was literally on like 5 before 3/4 time, and he's lost us 20k with a break even of 68. I think we've got to try and get out of him as soon as we can. And yeah, Jordan Sweet. So unfortunately, he's just gonna have to sit on our bench now. He'll still make money. He'll still make money at least. That is, if he plays. Oh, geez, hopefully they don't pick 𝐕𝐸ntini over Sweet. Otherwise, that would be an absolute disaster of a trade in the end. But yeah, should go up to probably 600k before the buys, and we could flip him then. So yeah, 22.19, and that's what I'm considering with the trades for round 10. 𝐼𝐸𝐿 is definitely going to be the big talking point this week. Do you move him on? If I were to, I would go to either Serong or 𝐸𝐸𝐼𝐸. 𝐸𝐸𝐿's next 2 weeks, Richmond and Hawthorn. He's going to take the piss again, you'd think. But for now, I haven't traded in a rookie in quite some time, and I'm just a bit concerned with my cash generation. So what I might do is Cadman is going to leak cash, Roberts is going to leak cash. Let's just go down to Joe Richards for now. He has the lowest break even out of anybody. He had a very good game. He got a 81. He was working up the ground nicely. Just a really cleanly skilled player. He really was impressive. So there's no McCreary or Jamie Elliott next week too. So he could back himself up with a good performance and keep himself in the 22. And I think Pie supporters would definitely think he has a spot in this 22 for now. And then we trade out Roberts to get in Clayton Oliver, who passed the eye test last week. I got him in SuperCoach last week as well. I think he got, a 99? Yeah, pretty much tonned up. He's got West Coast this week, then the Saints the week after. 2 fairly weak midfields, so he could really go bang and give us a nice score. And 725k for Clayton Oliver. I mean, what a deal this could be. So bring in Clary, and let's remember we're going to put Rosie back on field because he is going to be back this week. And yeah, hopefully we can continue to rise up the ranks. Okay, everyone, now let's move across to my SuperCoach review. And wow, we had a massive round. We managed to get ourselves a 25.45. Another week ranked in the top 1%. And wow, have a look at that. We're currently 505th place. That's crazy. I was not expecting to be in this sort of range at all. So we're sitting in a good spot at the moment. Let's not stuff it up. And the round 9 rank in the end was 442. So yeah, really good rounds. I think we're just fortunate to have a lot of antipods not score well. Like Tim English got sub 90, and Nick Martin, I think, got like an 85, whilst Bonner managed to score 25 points more. So yeah, I think we're pretty lucky. We had a lot of players go well. Reid was our lowest scorer, but the next lowest was literally McRae with 86. So really well balanced performance it was. So yeah, we captained DAICOS just like we did in fantasy, and was fantastic. And I went for a pod option VC of Grundy. I thought maybe he could go off with no Shaun Dux. He played well, but he didn't go off. So let's start off. Luke Ryan. Oh boy, there was plenty of melts with this guy. He was on like 50 at 3/4 time. Then just got a lot of cheap ball in the back pocket. We just allowed them to chip it around whilst it was game over, and crawled to a 111. So yeah, I think he's a must-have in the defence. He's just a cheat code, as I've been saying ever since I brought him in back early in the season. And yeah, DAICOS very good, as we said in the fantasy segment. He's in really good form, and just his ability to find the pill was fantastic. And yeah, he could have kicked another goal. He had a few chances, but he did stuff up. But we'll tackle 147 for sure as a captain. Dan Houston with an 89, and I felt he was stitched up here a little bit. I thought he played quite well, but he had like a kick out in the full, but I don't think it was out in the full. It was touched, but Champion Data thought it was, so he actually got points deducted. So yeah, he was fairly hard done by Champion Data, I think. But his game, from what I was watching, was still quite good. So still will be a keeper. Bit of a down game, but let's hope he bounces back with a ceiling score. Moving across to 𝐼𝐸𝐿 now, so it was pretty effective. He had some good moments inside 50, hit a few targets, and he looked okay, but again, like, this is the concern with 𝐼𝐸𝐿. And what annoys me is I was so close boosting last week with going 𝐼𝐸𝐿 to Serong. That would have paid off so well. That was about 25k to do, and guess how much it is now? 𝐼𝐸𝐿 to Serong is about 90k, so massive blunder there. I really should have done it. Have I missed the boat? I think I need to try and get in strong as quick as I can because he's averaging 130. He's almost a must-have. Rolly Bonner got a 108, so yeah, another week with him getting a negative ratio compared to his fantasy, but he turned up, so we'd love to see it. And now he's reset his break-even, so he's going to be a very good stepping stone to either a Tom Stewart or a Nick Martin. And then moving across to 𝐓𝐿𝐿 𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐴, we brought him back in this week, and yeah, happy with the 91, especially in those conditions. Like we said in the fantasy segment, you definitely got to take a score like that with the conditions and how exhausted those North players were. Was clean by foot and got a lot of those loose ball gets, so yeah, happy with that. Midfield now, yeah, big names in here. Even with no Sarong, we still scored well because, as you can see, Dawson and Butters went off. Bontempelli was just his old self though, kicked a few goals and was very efficient. Very close from VCing Butters. He just went like a man possessed, racking up clearances. They did a number port on that Geelong midfield, and yeah, he kicked that great goal too, the high left foot snap. So yeah, I just love watching him. I mean, even when it was crunch time, just him attacking contests, it was great to see. Jordan Dawson went massive in the final quarter. I think he was on like 90 at three-quarter time. So the scaling definitely helped. He set up pretty much, I think, 3 goals in transition. Then he had the goal assist to Fogarty. And then he missed the goal. Imagine he kicked that. He probably would have gotten a 160 being the match winner. But we'll definitely take a 142. Yeah, that's up to his average. And bloody content with that. And he's been very good he's been really good at the Adelaide Oval so far this year, in terms of scoring fantasy, that is, but SuperCoach not so much, so we're happy with the 142. 𝐷𝐞 𝐎𝐿𝐼 122, could have been a 140 if he didn't get rested in the final term, but it is what it is. It's definitely fair enough by hard work, resting the top players for the short turnaround. Sam Walsh got a 119, and again, another negative SuperCoach ratio compared to fantasy, which is pretty rare with Walsh. He's a much better SuperCoach player usually, but I don't know. I think maybe, I'm assuming he just went ineffective by foot, but I thought his game was very good, but just didn't get the love by champion data too much. Held Jack Steele just like we did in fantasy and got a 122. Had a big last quarter too, and had a big second half in general. He started to really get a lot more accumulation as the game wore on. Clayton Oliver got an 87, and I felt he was again pretty hard done by, similar to Walsh. Felt like he was getting a lot of contested possessions, but apparently he wasn't. And to be fair, he was just hacking the ball quite a bit and was resulting in turnovers. But he got a hole in the ball, I think, the last few minutes, which helped salvage his score. But next 2 weeks do look promising for him with West Coast and St Kilda. And Sam Closey went bang with 105. Pretty blessed there with another great rookie score from Closey. Just holds his width really nicely out there, and his work ethic and his foot skills. I just love his kick. Love his kicking. Yeah, he's got some great skills. Graham, yeah, unfortunately dropped, so could look to move him on. Is holding nice. Has plenty of cash on his head of 277k, so could look to bring him down to one of those basement rookies this week. Garcia got a 65, pretty much playing the pressure small forward role with no Butler and Higgins, and yeah, got busy a little bit in the final quarter. Could have kicked that snap, but it fell short. But happy with that, and his break even is it's 1 at the moment, so could make a bit more coin. And then for the rucks, we had, of course, Maxi Gawn salvage his score once again. Just like the week before, he was looking like he was going to get a sub-ton, but came back strong, kicked the set shot, scaled. Scaling came in for him, and he got a 111. And yeah, a ton for Grundy. We're definitely happy with that, considering that 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼, which is another popular ruckman, didn't go great. So yeah, if you don't own Marshall, you either had Sweet or pretty much Grundy or 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with Grundy getting that outscoring 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼. And then yeah, Jordan Sweets, yeah, a bit of a shame. We can't have him missing games. We need to get these cash players going, or these cash cows going. For the forwards now, Isaac Heaney, 118. Yeah, great game. Another just good day in the office from him. Impactful. Could have had a goal, but was pretty unselfish. Flanders got a 108, and as I say again, he was rested for a majority of the final quarter, but went by foot really well. McRae got a few contest possessions. That definitely helped his SuperCoach score and a lot of loose ball gets, and used it really well forward to centre. Harley Reid is now... Yeah, he's a bit of an enigma so far this year, Reid. He's either going to go really high up or really low. You just don't know what game it's going to be. You just don't know what game he's going to turn up to play well in. But have a look at this. He's 443k. So he's a really good stepping stone now to a lot of premium options. So he's definitely on the watch list to trade out this week. Darcy Wilson continues to be just a ripper of a cash cow and will continue to be a keeper the next few weeks, I think, alongside many others with a 90. And Sam Darcy, I do feel that for the people that trade him out, but I was expecting him to go well against a pretty small Richmond defence, and he sure did that. Kick 4 goals, and just that height advantage. He was able to take marks inside 50, so yeah, bloody content with that with Sam Darcy for sure. And as you can see though, this is the problem with my team. Not only we don't have Sarong, our bench options were not looking great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rookies we have at the moment that are currently dead. So yeah, we need to really start trying and bring in some rookies this week. So yeah, we'll move on to the trades now. Plenty of options to do. I really want to consider trading out 𝐼𝐶 and going up to Sarong as a boost. Again, I could have done it for 25k, but now I'm going to have to pay about 90k. So, do I still want to do it though, or do I want to wait for Sarong to have a bad game? But he's not going to have a bad game. My goodness, he's just on fire at the moment. He's averaging 130. I need to try and get him in. But for now, I'm just going to be doing these trades. So, I think Big and Ewing I've got to try and trade out because I look long-term at my team. Having 2 red dots that I can't move out of my forward line on the bench is a bit of a concern and not very flexible. So I've got to try and get rid of at least 1. So Big and Ewing could be the guy. And there's plenty of options this week for rookies. Now, either I can put Garcia in my forward line and just bring in right away Lachie Sullivan, who looked good. But with Mitchell and coming back in, does he keep his spot? I really like Bruce Revel though. I think he can continue to keep a spot on the side. Mature ager. He probably keeps that spot on the side on the wing, but had very low TOG, so that's also a concern. Joel Freer played really well as that sort of wing defender type 2, and I've been hearing that he could be a mainstay in the best 22 for the Doggies. So he has only one game played those. So for me, I think it's either going to be Bruce Revel or Sullivan. So we'll go with Revel for now. Like the look of him, and he's got a great kick of the football too. And then the next trade, I think we can say goodbye to Reed. I still feel like, though, he could easily be the player that gets a ton. And you're like, bugger, I wish I had that. But he has a break-even of 134. He's done the job in terms of money-making, and he's a great stepping stone to any player we want, really. So, yeah, we could get done by with Reed scoring well for a game here or there, but considering I can trade out Reed and get in the 3rd highest averaging forward in the game at the moment. He's in very good form with Dane 𝐸𝐸, and have a look at this guy's next 2 weeks. So he's got Richmond, who you'd think he'll just take the piss against. He could easily go 130 plus, and then also he does have Hawthorn again, who are giving up a lot of points to defenders. I think it's wise to bring in 𝐸𝐸 with that low break even. If he gets a 120, he probably goes up to around 600k. So that's what I'm looking like with the 2 trades this week. And it's a matter of, do I want to use my boosts? Now, if I want to use my boost and go 𝐼𝐶 to Sarong, I'll probably have to trade out Graham instead. And that's probably a bit of a concern because if I want to trade out 𝐻𝐿, who am I going to trade out 𝐻𝐿 to in terms of rookies? There's no defender rookie options at the moment. So if I keep Graham for another week, I could trade out 𝐻𝐿 and move Graham into defence here. And you never know, Graham might be available for not this game in next week, but maybe the week after. But Zach Reed could potentially come back in the team. But I don't know, it's early thoughts. But I'll probably just do this for now. I think 𝐸𝐸 is a must. I really want to bring him in this week and strengthen the forward line. And hey, we could do a little loop game here. So I think, as you can see, the Bulldogs play first. So what we can do is we can actually put the E on Darcy. If it gets under 50, we can field Revel or maybe Garcia. So that's what it's looking like for SuperCoach for my team. We're sitting around 500th overall. You bloody beauty. Let's now have a quick look at my Fantasy and SuperCoach League leaderboard updates. We're currently sitting 2nd overall in my own league, so very nice stuff there. But who is ahead of me is Terrell's Hacks, maintaining his spot in the top 1% or in the top 500. I think he was around 400th overall last week, so he's treaded water with a 2,403. So yeah, a pretty good score there. I think anything over 2,400 was a pretty decent week. Defence looking very strong. I want to try and bring in Nick Martin. Riley Bonner for me, though, is going to be a great stepping stone to a Nick Martin or Stewart. Crouch had a massive 4th quarter alongside Dawson, Sarong, Bontempelli, Merritt. Yeah, those are just good quality midfielders he does have. Heaney, Flanders, maybe he wants to move on Reed. Fife had a bit of a down game for him, unfortunately. Riley Garcia, though, ripper of a forward rookie that I've missed out on. So yeah, that's looking pretty good for old mates with a 2,403. And then we move across to who had the highest points of the round. Let me just move this across, sorry, so I can see the team for this one. It was 𝐷𝐶𝐞 𝐎𝐥𝐝 with a 2,562, so not far from my score, but let's have a look at his. Yeah, he's currently coming 21k overall, but yeah, had a massive week, so love to see it. Bailey Dale, 103, 𝐸𝐿𝐻 has as well. Dawson, Butters, yeah, I think if you had Sarong, Butters or Dawson, if you had all three, you were on for a good week, I think, and definitely DAICOS too. Captain Bont, very good score. Sexton, he held him. Well done to the Sexton holders. That was very good in the end. And then, yeah, Darcy Wilson, very good. Heaney, yeah, pretty solid round. And Marshall, 164. He'll definitely be happy with that. Let's now have a look at my fantasy league. And we have Mallin's team here. He is currently coming first place in my league overall. And he's got an overall ranking of 495. How about that, you bloody beauty? Let's have a look at his round 9 performance. So 22-11. Yeah, sort of around the similar score from mine in fantasy. He put the C on DAICOS. Sinclair, I'm assuming he traded him in. Bit of a bad week to get on him. Just a bit of inconsistency. He's probably hurting his game. Had the Cherry 57 gone as well. Darcy Jones, he fielded. That definitely let him down. Dylan Moore had a good first half, but just numbers-wise, did really fade out of the game, but still had a really good performance. And then, yeah, Sam Walsh was massive. Missed out on him a few weeks ago, so yeah, that is hurting not to go with him. And then, yeah, Nick Martin, very good. Dawson, Bonner, yeah, big scores from him. Bont's going massive too. So over on there is my round review for round 9 with the Fantasy and SuperCoach. Let me know how you lot went below for round 9, and also comment down below what your overall rank is and who are you thinking of bringing in this week. I'll have to answer some questions down below. I'm no expert, but you know, I'd love to help out and give my best advice possible. Hopefully you did enjoy, everybody, and until next time, I will talk to you later. See you later, fellas.